G'day everyone, Stick here from Maplewood Studio. How you all doing? So today we're having a look at the Roland Bass Cube 20 XL. This is my first ever bass amp review stroke demo, so I'm a little bit nervous. As usual, forget about my playing. I'm learning and all that kind of stuff. Despite having a very sparkly bass that attracts attention, I'm actually not very good. But this is all about the gear, and I've had the Bass Cube 20 XL now for probably 2 or 3 months. It's been on loan to me from Anderton's Music Store in Guildford, and I've been using it to jam along with drum students and all that kind of stuff, and I've been really impressed with it. It's the smallest of the Bass Cube family. It's the sort of baby, if you want, of the range. It's got an 8-inch driver in it, ported cabinet, so you've got some nice bottom end extension going on. It's built like an absolute tank with these really chunky corner protectors. The actual paneling in the body or the cabinet itself is really chunky, but it's not overly heavy, which is good, especially for someone like me. Amp side of it, we're loaded with features. Got the COSM amp model system on here, and we've got 6 bass amp models, so they're ranging from vintage stuff to modern stuff to a couple of Roland's owned, and also within this you've got the what's it called, shape feature, which affects each amp model separately. It's not like a stock feature or a stock tonal shift that goes across all of them. It affects each one separately, so that's really cool. So you can probably see from the other camera, but let me just take you through the controls and everything we've got going on here quickly. As you can see, we've got the input over here, then straight away we've got a compressor stroke drive knob. Now you can see from the overhead camera that once you get past 12 o'clock it goes from compressor to 12 o'clock, then after that it switches to a drive control. So it's like a split channel or a split feature on that knob, and we've got it going across a few of them up here, but we'll go through these later. We've got the basic EQ with bass, middle and treble. We've got some effects going on, which is really nice, and then over here we've got the COSM amp model selector switch, so we can select each of the amp models there. We've got a gain stage and a volume, pretty typical sort of amp stuff. So you just want to drive your gain until you're happy. Personally, I like to keep that quite clean and then just drive the volume. And then over here we've got a button called power squeeze, which is pretty cool. Hit that and it switches it down to a 2-watt mode. So if you're a bedroom player or live in a block of flats or something, this could be really useful for you. You get all of the tonal characteristics out of all the other settings, but a very low level. Very useful indeed. You've got an aux in, so you can chuck your MP3 player in there and stuff to jam along to. Really nice feature. Foot switchable for the effects. I haven't got a foot switch, so I can't demo that, unfortunately. And also over here we've got a headphone out stroke record out. For the first half of the video I'm going to use the record out, so all of the sound you're hearing is coming straight out of the Cube amp, straight into my audio interface over there, into Logic Pro, recorded at 48K, so there's no mic involvement at all. All the tones are what you hear out of here. So if you're recording at home, this is how I would suggest you use it. Later on we switch over to the mic'd up cab, and I've got an RE20 mic on the cab, which I also blend with the room mic to try and give you an idea of how it sounds in the room. Despite its size, it's actually quite a pokey little amp. I would suggest you could use this for sort of band rehearsals, providing you're not stupidly loud. If you're in a louder band, it might not make it sort of, you know, you're going to be pushing it to its limits, I would say, especially depending on what kind of tone you're using. But let's run through some of the sounds, and yeah, I'll basically play the same old lick all the way through, and I'll switch between each of the 6 amp models, and I'll also switch between the shape features, so we're going to hear 12 tones in all, but I'll just try and time it right, so I'll play the same lick and just chop in all the bits as we go, and then we'll have a look at the EQ, the compressor, the drive and all that kind of stuff later, or just on a basic tone. So let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, so there you go. That was a quick run through of the 6 amp models that we've got on board the XL20. And as you would have seen when you were watching the video, I annotated underneath what was what. So you've got an idea. There's a B15 in there, a 360, SVT, an SWR, loads of stuff. And you've got a good indication of how the shape feature affects each tone. So it's, yeah, you've got basically 12 very, very usable tones on board here. And like I said before, this is going straight out of the Cube into Logic. So this, all the sound you're hearing is coming basically out the amp section. We haven't looked at the speaker side of it yet. Okay, so let's now check out some of the features we've got going on board here. First of all, let's start off over this side. We've got the compressor stroke drive section. And you can see when I turn the knob, the little LED lights up to tell you that you're engaged in one of these features. And you can see pretty much up to 12 o'clock, it's all compressor settings. After 12 o'clock, it gets to the drive settings. So let's just check out the compressor. Not having to play very hard at all with that up there. Back to about 9 o'clock. Quite a usable compressor. Let's check out the drive. So you can hear it. You can hear that little notch there where we engage into the drive section. So and that's just at 12 o'clock, so we're going to get more and more. Let's go to around 3. Let's go all the way. All the way! So there you go, there's quite a lot of drive in there. It's quite a usable drive, it's nothing too fancy, it does the job. So let's have a look now. Obviously we've got a basic EQ, so I'll just let some notes ring and adjust these so you can hear how effective they are. So let's start off with the bass. Mid. So quite a nice usable EQ. Obviously, I mean, I'm set to the concert setting, which is basically an Ampeg SVT with an 810 cab. So let me just demonstrate some of the how we'd use the, if I use the compressor set to around, yeah, around there, and I will use the gain to drive the amp a little bit more and just turn the volume down. So you can hear we're starting to get a little bit of the amp model breakup, almost driving it flat out. If we drive it flat out, ignore that last bit of playing. But you can hear how we're getting a very, very different gain or dirt from using the drive section over here to actually driving the amp model. Personally, I prefer driving the amp model a little bit more. So let's switch that back to a usable level. I don't know if this camera above is going to cut the mustard, by the way. I've never done that before, so it might be a bit too close. I'm feeling restricted by my hand movements. Let's have a look at the power squeeze now. So I've got the my concert amp model set full gain. The volume set so we're just not clipping the audio interface. I'm going to hit the power squeeze now. Well, let's get an idea of what it sounds like. So gives you an idea of the difference in volume you're going to get through the power squeeze section, and obviously this will come across more when we use the mic'd up cab. Okay, so let's check out these effects now. First up we have the chorus, and basically the chorus is active from the off position here up until 12 o'clock. As we increase the amount of chorus, we're going to change the depth and the rate. So let's have a check, let's have a listen to see what this sounds like. So we start off around there. Bit more. And a bit more. And a bit more. Okay, so it's quite a usable chorus, quite a nice effect. Next up we have solo, which basically gives you a sort of signal boost, and this is designed to be used with the foot switch. So if we leave it just slightly engaged, start bringing the solo feature in. You can hear we're getting a level increase, bring it up to its max. So, quite a nice feature. If you're jamming with your mates, comes to a bass solo, hit your switch, you cut across the mix or cut through a little bit better. And the last one, effect on this knob, is the octave, which is awesome. So the octave's either on or off, but all very usable effects. Okay, so let's check out the second feature, which is the delay and reverb. It's either one or the other, so as per the other controls, it's delay until 12 o'clock, then it's reverb after 12 o'clock. With the delay, as you increase the knob, you're increasing the delay time, so basically the length of the delay. So if we started with the sort of 9 o'clock, you can hear it's quite a quick delay. If we increase that to around 12 o'clock, getting longer. And then we're into the reverb section then. And it's the same deal. As we increase the reverb, we're increasing the size of the room basically, or the size of the reverb. So, all very, very usable effects. Now, let me unplug the output and we will go to the mic so you can get an idea of how the cab sounds. Okay, so now we're checking out the speaker. I've got the RE20, Electrovoice RE20 hooked up on the speaker cone here. We're slightly off center, and we're going to blend this with a little bit of the room mic, so you might hear some air conditioning noise. Sorry about that, but I'm not sweating in here anymore. I refuse. So I'll do the same as before. I'll play a basic lick and I'll run through each of the amp sections so you can get a feel or listen to a sound or an idea of what the hell am I supposed to be saying now. I don't know. Brain went funny. Of how each one sounds more out the cab rather than DI. So let's check them out. Okay, so there you go. That was the Roland Bass Cube 20 XL. Like I say, I've had this for a little while. I've been really impressed with it. I'm going to be sad to see it go back, but there you go. That's the only downside of doing these things. You have to give stuff back. But yeah, I think for £180, £190, somewhere around that price point, it's an absolute steal. It's a great little practice amp, great little small rehearsal amp. And if you've got to carry gear around, you don't want anything much bigger than that. So yes, I've been really impressed with it. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, please feel free to contact me. Leave your comments below. If you like the video, gives it a thumbs up. It helps me out loads. So yes, let me know what you think. Hope that was useful. That's all for now. Stick out. Bye.